Hello, my beautiful, amazing crochet family. I am your one and your only Lady of Crochet, Lady Simone, and we are back with another all over the place crochet broadcast. Yes, y'all. Listen, I was so excited to come to y'all with this video because just like you could see in the title, y'all, this is an all over the place crochet yarn review, okay? And today I am going to review my opinions, give you my opinions on how I feel about the upside down cake that Caron Cakes just released. I did a video showing some of the ones that I purchased, and I only purchased two. And those were the two that I was looking the most like, I guess I was looking more forward to those more versus some of the other new yarns that they had. And it was really the colors pulled me in. The colors, like, I don't think anyone is surprised by that, right? The colors pulled me in. And I was like, you know what? I got to get it. I want to try it, and I want to see how the yarn works up, what I can create from the yarn. I will honestly say that I am not big on like, oh, I just got to use this specific yarn. I'm not big on not wanting to try yarns because XYZ. Listen, if I see something I like it, I'm gonna try it, and that's that, But I am a big value yarn girly because I just like mixing yarn. I like mixing colors, and I like just creating what I want to create. Okay, so when I saw the upside down cakes, y'all, I had to get the color. Let me see. I got the color because I already used this sleeve. I got the color. Give me a second. Candy floss. Candy floss of the Caron Upside Down Cake was the one that I really wanted to try because of the colors, and I'm gonna show y'all what I made from it. And I also got some of the what's this one? Frozen banana. Look at that. This right here, I said in the first video when I showed it, I was like, this reminds me of Bluey. But this is frozen banana. I really absolutely love this one. I only used a little bit of this one so far, but I want to show all that I made from the candy. Here we go, candy floss. Okay, so I actually made this hat, and I put some lovely hearts on it. And one someone said that it reminded them of Care Bears. This was so unicornish. She is amazing. Hello. And I was like, you know what? It does. It really does. But I was just thinking just hearts and love and everything. But listen, when she said that, I was like, oh, so it is so awesome when you can create things and people can put a different meaning to it or show you something that they see in your art or your work that you had no idea. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're just creating and making out of love, people see all kind of things. And that's the beautiful thing, because I'll take Care Bears, because Care Bears is love, is happiness, is joy. It's a lot of people's childhood. So I thought that was beautiful. And I was just like, oh, so I absolutely love how this yarn works up. So let's get a little bit into what I feel about the yarn. Now, I would say that this is a thicker weight for yarn, and I feel like it's a good quality. But one thing I did not like when I was working with it, it felt a little bit and it was just with this colorway too. I would say it felt a little bit waxy. It felt a little waxy, and I don't know if it was because of the dye or it could have been my skein. It did not make me not want to work with it. I just noticed that feel when I was working with it. Do I still love the yarn? Yes. Would that make me not want to buy it again? No. But I did notice that. And I wanted to play around with it and see how the yarn will hold up against other yarns, because I do mix a lot of my yarns sometimes, especially if I'm making a scrap project. And sometimes when you have a thicker weight for yarn, when you use other yarns, sometimes they don't hold up good together because some weight for yarns are a little thinner. But I would say also what I noticed when I was using other yarns with this yarn, is that it held up good and it still held the shape of the project that I was working on. I'm going to show y'all that. So for instance, this is a granny square that I did, and I had some leftover yarns, and I kind of wanted to just mesh them together to see how this weight for will hold up against other weight for. And honestly, as you can see right here, I think it did a really, really good job. This pink is a lighter type weight for value yarn. This right here is that thicker upside down cake, but it still holds it. It looks really good. Now, for me personally, I can tell a little difference. Like, it looks a little thicker here than over here, but it doesn't take away from the project. It doesn't take away from what I'm actually creating, because I'm using different squares to mix it together. And I noticed that it still holds up good with each other yarn, and it makes the project look really good. So I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with that, you will want to use just, if you're making squares, you may just want to use just the upside down cakes. You know, you don't want to mix it, because for me, I noticed that when I was using the granny square yarn, the red heart granny square yarn, I noticed that it has that certain type of thicker feel, just kind of like this. It reminds me of the granny square red heart yarn. So the upside down cake, if I had to compare it to another yarn, honestly, from what I have used so far, I would say it reminds me a little bit of Granny Square Red Heart, like as far as the feel and the thickness of the yarn. But anyways, I'm not gonna ramble on about that. Those were some of the things that I noticed. Okay, so then this is another square that I use, and I kind of mixed it too, but I noticed when I put the other yarn in the middle and this to hold up, like, you can't really tell a difference. So it still looks good, like I say, if you wanted to mix the yarns. Now, I don't hear a lot of people talking about mixing the yarns. And for me, for someone that does a lot of scrap projects, it's important for me to talk about that, because that is something that I do a lot, because I like colors, I like mixing. And I get a lot of these yarns, like the upside down cake yarns, because I like the colorway. It's almost like variegated. I buy a lot of different variegated just so I can mix it with some solids, and the variegated gives me a punch in my project. So that's why you'll hear me talk a little bit about mixing the yarns a little more. Now, this was another example of mixing this yarn, because I made this hat, and I used the top here of the blue, the, what is it, frozen banana, and then the bottom for the ruffles, I used the candy floss. All of these squares are a different yarn, and I think that this hat is absolutely gorgeous. I think it holds up good. Now, one thing, when I was doing this, right, because what was interesting to me was, when I noticed about this hat, in about the yarn, is that if you are using it for hats, because I go 54 stitches around, some people do 60, and that's okay. However you make your hats, that's the beautiful thing about crochet. But I have noticed that when we use a thicker yarn, the yarn stretches a little more, so you have a little more give. So even if I made this hat a little smaller, when someone puts it on, it's going to stretch it out. So it would conform. I feel like the thicker weight fours have a little more stretch, my opinion. But it actually turned out really good. So I got these two hats done, and I actually wanted to do an amigurumi out the yarn, because I wanted to see how it would turn out. So I did a crochet love ball out of it. And this is how that love ball turned out. Look at that cutie patootie. Now, one thing I would say that I noticed, and I wish that I could get a little more of the other colors. And because the project is a smaller amigurumi, that's why I think I only was able to get the orange and the yellow, because it reminded me a little bit of like a candy corn. And I was just like, oh, but if you look to the bottom, we have a little bit of the pink. But one thing I would say, I used for this love ball a 4mm crochet hook. And I feel like, because it's a thicker yarn, look at that. The stitches are really, really nice. nice and tight. And in the back, I actually made a nice little granny square for the back to put, look right here, just a cute little message. Love yourself and smile daily. Cute little message. These are little things that I could just place there. If I was to give this love ball to someone to place on their desk or just to place around, because as y'all can see, I love having little characters and little things around. You can always just have that little pocket if you want to place a little candy there or if you want to place a little message. So that's what I have there. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's just a cute little love ball. Cute, cute, cute little love ball. Now, the love ball pattern I do have as a short on my channel, and I did it in a plush yarn for the channel. I did it as yeah, it's a plush and it's a short on the channel. But I just used the same pattern and wait for yarn, and it turned out this small. So I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And I want to show y'all that because since we're talking about that, I can show y'all the how the love ball will look in the plush yarn, okay? Because I have it right behind me. Which one is it? Let me show y'all this one. I want to show y'all this one right here. So this is the love ball if you was to do it in the plush yarn. And I just use the larger eyes on here. And I have an actual heart applique in the back to where you can put something in there as well. So those are actually cute. And I think that with the other yarn, it turned out really good. And this gives you a size difference. Wait for chunky burnette blanket. Big difference, but the project is still very, very cute. And that's all I wanted to talk to you all about the yarn, because I love the upside down cake yarn. I would purchase more. One thing for me, my opinion only, is that I would wait until they get on sale, because I feel like $14.99 is a little steep for the cake of yarn. And it's not, let's see, for $14.99 we get 8 ounces, 227 grams, which is 403 yards, and it is 100% acrylic. I should have gave y'all the deets on this in the beginning. I will make sure I have that on the screen in the beginning. And it is a medium weight for yarn. So I absolutely think that it is a good amount of yarn, but for $14.99, with me, how I buy yarn and purchase my yarn and mix and do everything, I like a good little deal. So I can get a lot of different value yarns when it's on sale for like 30% off, and then we can mix it and formulate some colors as well. So it's all about personal preference. That's the thing. Whatever you like is what you will do, and that's okay. And not only that, always remember to do what works for you and yours, because a lot of people will try to do things to mimic or to want to try to just keep up. Like back in the day, they would say keep up with the Jones. I was never a keep up with the Jones type of person. I like what I like, and I'm going to get what I want to get. So however that looks for y'all, but if you're absolutely loving this yarn, I would say give it a try if you haven't tried it before. And if you have, leave a comment in the comments below and let me know what you think about it. You know what I'm saying? This has been my all over the place, review of it, because listen, I could only give you how I felt about it when I was using it. And I would say even when I was crocheting with it, it was smooth. It wasn't no hiccups. I didn't have any, sometimes you find like they have knots within a yarn. I didn't have any knots or anything. So I absolutely love it. If I had to rate it, I would give it a 4 out of 5, only because, like I said, it did have like a little waxy feel to it, but it wasn't like unbearable. I usually have a jar to where I have a message, but I don't have my jar today, but I still have a message. So if you have stick with me this far, y'all, we are going to get the most amazing message. Okay. So I did write something down, and it says crochet teaches what life repeats. Patience creates patterns. And what that means is, like, when you think about it, if you repeat habits, they become character. If you repeat thoughts, they become beliefs. When you repeat effort, the beautiful thing about that is that it becomes growth. So I learned so much through crochet, And one of the biggest thing is definitely patience, is definitely just creating, because as we're creating something from our heart, it's actually being outwardly produced so other people can see it. And one of the most important and beautiful things that I get from that as well is life is not built in big moments. Crochet taught me that it's built in repeated small ones. Life isn't built in big moments. It's built in repeated small ones. So when you actually correlate that to crochet, each little stitch is a part of creating that big project. And when you put so much love and effort in it, you will look around you one day and say, oh my goodness, look at all the beautiful things that I created in this lifetime. So with that being said, y'all, I hope y'all have the most beautiful, amazing day. Thank y'all so much for watching this video all the way to the end. And I want you to always remember that I am your one and your only Lady of Crochet, Lady Simone, and I will see you next time.